Hi, this is Antoine Garth, and welcome to Royal Road Method of Tarot. The Royal Road Method of Tarot comes from 20 years of working with Eileen Connolly, the author of Tarot, a workbook for the apprentice. And I kind of created my own system and am interested in sharing it with other people, so this is coming from my class material. Okay, so today we're going to work with the Celtic Cross, and the Celtic Cross is a spread that most people feel like they understand and know. It seems pretty straightforward. Sometimes it can be a little bit too much because most people just want to use 3 cards, whatever. But I've thought if people are interested in the Celtic Cross, let's kind of go to it and see if we can break it down in a way that maybe you haven't thought about it before. Okay, so let's go to it. Alright, so we have the ordinary Celtic Cross here in front of us, and of course the Celtic Cross was based on the Rose Cross, the Celtic Rose Cross, which we can kind of evoke from this general cross. So here we have the cross itself, and then we have a pillar. So if we're thinking Kabbalistically, we probably have 2 pillars. We would have 2 pillars, but this, where the cards go, actually represents the other pillar. It's kind of an unseen one. And let's see, so the actual cross or crux of the matter is right here between these 2 positions. So as with all tarot spreads, the position statements are what are the most important, and so let's kind of go into some of those and see what we can figure out. Okay, so the very first card is considered that which covers me. That's the 2 of Cups, which is the love card. Isn't that nice? That's why I thought I would use this one. No, I'm not in love. And then the second one is considered that which crosses for good or bad. So first position, this is which covers. Second position, this is what crosses for good or for bad. Okay, so what do those mean? What's kind of the idea behind that? So from my experience, what I tend to perceive is that the first position, that which covers, is actually the principle that governs the now. It is the principle that really kind of the umbrella concept that encapsulates the now, okay? And might not be necessarily seen at the time. It needs to be understood. It has to be digested into the psyche, spirit, etc., and understood. But it is not necessarily seen and known at the time that it's being laid out. The second position, however, which is that which crosses for good or bad. So already with good or bad, we have an aspect of identification. I find that the second position is that which actually helps us to define what the actual situation is. So if you're a person who's been reading spreads for yourself or for other people, and I definitely believe reading for self is a very, very good thing, the second position should be recognizable. There should be that should be what you recognize. The first position needs to be understood and integrated, and so may not always be necessarily visible. The third position. Now, here is where we come to some controversy, because the third position and the fifth position, for about the 20 years that I've been working with it, say hi to Ganesha, hi Ganesha, the third, between the 20 years that I've been working with this stuff, the third position has had 2 or 3 different ways of looking at it. Often it's juxtaposed with the fifth position, which is that which is in my aura, which is around me. We're going to come to that in a minute, but the way that, in my opinion, it really should go, third position represents, these are the roots. This represents the root and cause of the situation, because the root sits below the tree, but below the body of the tree. And so, or below that, it's the part that's not always visible. And see, what's visible is here in this crux, in this cross. So let's just keep thinking of the position 1 and 2 as the crux of the situation. Okay. To the left we have the fourth position, which is this is what is behind me and has taken place within the last 10 days. So if you're reading for somebody, they should be able to kind of tell you when during that 10-day period they've been experiencing it, right? It should have happened within the last 10 days. The fifth position is a very mysterious and interesting and actually quite potent position. This is what crowns you and may come into being. So you wouldn't put the crown below. You wouldn't put the crown on your feet. You would put the crown on your head. So this crowns the situation. We're gonna, maybe if we have time, we've only got a little bit of time, but if we have time, we'll come back to this. The sixth position, once again, another position that it represents time, is let's see, what is that position statement? This is before you and will come to be within the next 10 days. So you've got two periods. You've got a 10-day period behind you that you can be looking at. You've got a 10-day period before that you can be looking at as well. Seventh position, this represents my negative feelings, or this represents my apprehension. So we've got negative feelings or apprehension here. The eighth position, now here's one where I've developed, you can kind of look at this in two ways. This represents how other people see the situation. I also call this the window position because it also gives you another way of seeing the situation. It's another view for you to see the situation, as well as it is how other people are seeing it. The ninth position, let me straighten some of these out here. The ninth position, this represents the best to be expected. Now, there are a few position statements that can go with this. This represents the best to be expected. This represents what I know to be true was a position statement I used to know people to use. The other one was, oh, your positive feelings. So here we have the encapsulation of what you're positively projecting and what you're negatively projecting. Okay, and then the last is the outcome. And I don't know if you know this, but all of these Celtic Cross spreads have a timing period of 30 days. So think about it. There are some things that are important kind of that I mentioned that I just want to want to deal with, is the fact that the Celtic Cross works within time. Okay, it works within time, meaning that you have ways to identify the situation specifically when you're talking about it by using the fourth position, which is behind you and has taken place, and to kind of give a prediction, so to speak, of what can happen by looking at the sixth position, which is what is before you and will take place within the next 10 days. You get an overview of the kind of the client or your own viewpoint pattern, or your patterning, your emotional patterning or viewpoint patterning based on the seventh position projection, which is negative, and the ninth position projection, which is positive. And then you've also got obviously the outcome, and you've got kind of what's hanging around in your aura. This is what crowns and may come into being. So let's come to this for just a minute. So the fifth position, representing what crowns you and may come into being, gives us more of an idea of what is this actually about? What is influencing the entire thing that could also then influence the outcome? What is the either general feeling? What is the general? Often one of the things influencing it can be a specific attitude or behavior of ours. If we were to look maybe closer at that fifth position, we can start to see, oh, okay, well maybe there is my major issue with money is beneath all of this. Excuse me. Or maybe it's an area to be looked at. It's an area to be opened. It's an area to be kind of probed at. And I don't know if you all know this, but you can open any position statement, probably except for the second one. You can open any of these with another 10-card Celtic to get more information. So the last thing I'm going to leave you with is a little way of kind of breaking it down, this Celtic Cross down, and it's to figure out what are your past, present, and future positions in the chart, or in the spread. So your past positions are the third and fourth. Your future positions are the sixth and the 10th. And then everything else is a now position. Okay, that's about all I'm going to do for right now. And thanks for checking us out. And I hope you'll come back for more. I'm going to be doing quite a few more of these. And as well, if you have any interest in my class, feel free to get in touch with me at agarth@ancientsky.com. So for my class. Thanks so much.